Hey, my friend, back for a longer episode of the Personal Development Unplugged podcast. So, me, your friend Paul. And on the last FMQ, which is supposed to be a 5-minute quickie, but now they're slightly longer because they're seeded, as in sowing the seed for the longer podcast. And the last one was time to stop talking. It's time to change. And one of the things I asked you to do, if you did listen to that, was to decide, think how you want to feel. Now, if you did listen to that and you did write them down, that would be brilliant. If you didn't, it'd be good to go back. But if not, just carry on listening, because you see, for some people, how you want to feel, to think and be asked how you want to feel, it's bloody difficult. You've lived with this for so long. I'll go into that in a minute. But for some of you, you haven't really got an issue. And you're thinking, why am I going to listen to this? Because everyone has a little issue. Even if you don't have a big issue, you have times where you're going to do something in the day, and we can decide how we want to change, how we want to be, how we want to feel, how we want to act, and the beliefs we have with that. So this is going to help too. And if you've got an issue, and it's a big issue, you know what I always say, please go and see a therapist, one-to-one. Get in their face, as it were. Get them to guide you to make that change quickly. See a wonderful hypnotherapist who does timeline therapy and NLP, and you will get your result really quickly. And if you do decide to do that, what we're going to do today will still help. In fact, it will probably speed up the process anyway. But we've all got something, I guess, we're slightly anxious about, nervous, fearful. Maybe it's a little bit of, I don't belong here. I feel an imposter. All that stuff is there. But you see, when you're in the issue, and it is an issue, and you've had it for a long time, it's really difficult to know how to feel or how you want to feel. I've worked with a lady a long time ago, 15 years, clinically depressed. That's what she was diagnosed at. Told by doctors at the hospital, went as far as the hospital, no more drugs. We've got no more drugs that can help you. So it's this or. And I had to ask, well, what's the or? And she said, well, I don't know. I'm just on these drugs, Paul. I just need to change. And I said, I want you to think of the last time you were happy. Not wackedly happy, but just mildly happy. And she said, I don't think I've ever been happy. And now I knew that was a lie. But in those 15 years, like the walls of that depression had been her only experience, and it knocked out all the others. So sometimes it's very difficult to remember. Remember times when, how you want to feel, or just to remember times when you felt good. Now then, I can remember a time, and I can remember it quite clearly now, but without the emotion. It was a time back in my past when it didn't feel bad. I felt absolutely devastated. I was so bad that I would just fall down on the floor. Not dramatically. I just crumple up on the floor and start crying. And I knew something had triggered it off. I knew I was in a shit place. And I just couldn't stop. And then I'd carry on. And it was so weird. So weird. I had to carry out a job on the outside and be the Cluffy that everyone thought I was. But inside, I wasn't that at all. It was terrible. So I have to say that is the worst time of my life. I actually wrote a book about it called It Doesn't Have to Be This Way. You can't find it because I didn't publish it. I did it online and things like that. But now I've left that alone. But it was me talking about how I became my own therapist. And the very first thing I did when I was my own therapist was to try to feel alive again, because I didn't feel I had anything at all. Now I know, well, I'm hoping you don't feel that way. Not as bad as that. And you can maybe think of times in the past when you felt the way you want to feel. If you remember, I've asked you to make that list. How would you like to feel instead? But if it's difficult, this is what I want you to do first. And this is what I did. And when I did it, it made a difference to me, and I'll explain it in a minute. And also, this process I developed for myself, my son and I began to use it in our trainings to help people. And it just seems, we use it now all the time. And I've called it my qualities. And basically, it's a mind map. And in the middle of my piece of paper, I do a circle, and it's just my qualities. And I wanted, somehow inside me, my uncle's mind said, start writing this. Let's find out a little bit to remember about you, Cluffy. And the thing is, I sat there with that piece of paper in my special little quiet place outside in the garden. It was just me, the birds, lovely sunshine, feeling shit, feeling down, really down, in a black hole really. And could I find a bloody quality? Not one. Not one. And I thought, well, I've got to write something down. So what did I write? I said, well, you're breathing. That is a quality of life, isn't it? It is a quality. Because if you haven't got that quality, you ain't here. So I wrote, well, one of my qualities, at least I can breathe. And then I thought, well, if I can breathe, what else can I do? Well, there's all the things I can do. I can walk, I can talk, I can write. I've learnt lots of things. So if I've learnt lots of things, I have the ability to learn. That's a quality to be able to learn. And then I thought of something like, well, if I've learnt and stuff I've been doing is I've been sharing my learnings. So in some way, I'm a little bit of a teacher. And then you go, well, actually, I'm a pretty good hypnotist. So that's a quality, isn't it? I know hypnosis, I've learned hypnosis, I can learn, I can share, and I can use hypnosis to help others. So here's a quality, I help others. And then it was like the floodgates didn't open like, but they opened a bit. And more qualities came to my mind. And I wrote them down, each one a line away from that middle circle of my qualities. And over a period, I guess it was about an hour, I filled up the whole bloody page. And so the floodgates opened more and more and more. So my mind was able to really find all the qualities that I had. And I know when I look at it now, I've got so many more. But just sitting in my quiet place, just looking at my qualities, it gave me a feeling of hope, a little bit of confidence in myself, but to feel that I'm someone who is worth looking after. Now, if you feel like that, not as down as that, 'cause if you're down as that, I was my own therapist, but go and see a therapist. But when you're, just do this exercise for me anyway. Because wherever you are in your life, knowing your qualities, because we forget the bloody things. We don't think them, we take them for granted. And I'll tell you what, you have more qualities than you can think of right now. And when you understand your qualities, you go, do you know what, your self-esteem starts to get up there because you think, yeah, I'm a bloody good person. I've got all this stuff. And what else? And what else? And how can I add to this? So find yourself a quiet place, a piece of paper and a pen, pencil. In the middle, draw a circle. write my qualities, and then draw lines away. And at the end of every line or on a line, write down one of your qualities and just sit with it. Keep sitting with it and it'll come out. Now, if you want some hypnosis to help you with this, I did one a long, long time ago. And it's hashtag 78.1. So there was a longer podcast, hashtag 78. You can have a listen to that if you wanted to. But it'll be more on this. Or go to my hypnosis site, paulcloughonline.com/podcast, and get access to 60-odd hypnosis tracks. But one of them, 78.1. Go down there and have a listen to that too. And that will put it all together. And as you're there, just flick through all the rest, because there'll be one or two that jump out at you. And they're going to go, add this to what we're going to do. Because this will help you find the ways you want to feel. But the thing is, even now, with all my qualities, I've got my qualities now. You've done it quietly, you've sat down, you read them and go, yeah, that's me. There's more to come, I know. Because you will be empowered. You're going to get some real inner confidence in yourself. Self-esteem. And you know you're worth a lot more than you thought. But what does this mean? What is this, how is this going to help you find out how you want to feel? Well, I'll tell you, because it's brought your self-esteem up a little bit. But now we're going to get back into really how you want to feel. And it's in small steps. But first of all, write down how you want to feel. Now, you may have done it easily and effortlessly from the last 5-minute quickie. If you did, maybe just look at them again and maybe add one or two. But what I want to do now is, and if, by the way, if you haven't done it, start to think of how you want to feel. You see, but what I want you to do, because you know how you feel now. And maybe just, if you've got, a piece of paper, you've literally got 3 columns. On the left-hand column, it's, how do I feel now? And on the far right-hand column, how do I want to feel? And I know, as I said before, they're not opposite. They're not just, I'm unconfident, I want to feel confident. No, it may be, I just want to feel calm, collected. I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel competent. I want to feel cute. There's so many different, but you put down how you feel now, and then, and how you want to feel at the end. If you could have that feeling, what would it be? Now, the thing is, you've got a list now, probably. We're going to do one at a time. But the thing is, it's a hell of a jump to go from how you feel now to how you want to feel. And I understand that. So look at your qualities, just to get that self-esteem. And then look at the first one. This is how I feel right now. This is how I want to feel. Now, in between that, there's a middle feeling that's like a step towards how you want to feel. And I just want you to go through and think, well, what is the midway point of feelings, that emotion? What would it be? So maybe it's to get to confidence, I just want to feel competent. I just want to feel in myself, secure in myself, something like that. And you find these midway points, midway emotions, midway feelings. They're like the stepping stone from one to the other. How you feel now to how you want to feel. Here's a stepping stone in between. Now then, here's a little bit. Because to try to think of that, how I want to feel, try to think of the opposite to make. And the thing is, make it up. Because sometimes it's so difficult, because we get conscious in it. But using your imagination. You see, if you think about it, well, because it's in my imagination, it doesn't have to be true. Because I'm just dreaming it. So think of that context of when I'm in this context, this is how I feel. This is this type of events. This is how I feel, and I don't like it. Well, in the same context, if it was just the way I want it, let's just imagine how I'd want to be. See it in your mind. See yourself. Just play with it. See yourself being exactly the way you want to be. And that's all it is. It's just your imagination. So you can be exactly how you want to be. And as you do that, you'll be able to get a feeling. And that's the feeling you want. Now, what's that middle step? So you've got a feeling now, you really have got the feeling of how you want to be. And that middle step, the in-between emotion. And sometimes you might just feel it. You might not be able to put a label to it, just feel it. But maybe you just feel it, or you've got a label to it. I want you to close your eyes just for a moment. Make sure there's nothing that you need or needs your attention. You're not driving or doing anything like that. You can do it eyes open. It's just sometimes it blocks away the distractions. And I want to think of a time as you go into that middle feeling. Think of a time when you had that feeling. Just think about it. There's a memory somewhere that you had that feeling. And write it out. Just a couple of lines. I remember. This is what happened. This is the way I felt. Now, it could well be that the how you feel and how you want to feel is not that too far apart. You know, say this isn't the biggest issue. It's just I get anxious when I do this. How do I want to feel? Well, I know, and it's not that big a jump. When you write down, instead of having the middle, the intermediate step, as it were, you've just got the start, how you feel now and how you want to feel. Go again into your memory and go, well, I'm going to imagine myself being that way, the way I really want to be. And as I imagine myself, I've got that feeling. When did I feel that feeling before? Because I know you have. And the reason I know you have is because you wouldn't be able to feel the bloody thing if you didn't or hadn't felt it before, because it would be so totally alien to you. So go into that feeling, and then just guide yourself back into a memory when you felt it before. And as you go back into that memory, just notice how comfortable you feel. Because sometimes we never know when we're safe and being protected because we're just in the moment. We're feeling comfortable. We're just doing what we're doing and we're enjoying it. We only feel unsafe, fearful, anxious. But in that feeling of how you want to be, there is no anxiety. There is no fear. It's just you being the way you want to be. And because of that, you are totally safe because you're seeing yourself being totally safe. Now, what we're doing here, we are creating counterexamples. So when you go back into your memories and you go, there was a time when I was, and it doesn't matter how old you were, there was a time when I felt that way. It's a counterexample to your unconscious mind saying, look, you're creating this anxiety for me. You're creating this negative feeling, this fear, whatever it is. I shouldn't be here, the imposter, whatever all that stuff is. That one. You're creating that, I know, to protect me, to keep me safe. But it doesn't feel good, therefore I'm not protected. But if I felt that way, just like I did in the past, wouldn't that be a better way? And guess what, Mrs. Unconscious Mind? You were with me. You were helped choosing that way of being. So you've done it before. And now, when you get that feeling from the past, a real memory now, not a made-up imagination, bit of engineering, as it were, of a feeling, you're now going back into your own past, your own experience that says, yes, I've done this and this is the way I felt. And then you can take that feeling and just imagine doing it. Imagine going through what you're planning to do with this feeling again. And as you do that, just keep saying this or something better and feel how good it feels. And the more you do this, the more your unconscious mind is going to start going, yeah, we're going to do this. In fact, it will start to believe you've already done it. And therefore, there is no fear, there is no anxiety, because you've done it successfully. You've done it feeling comfortably, and your unconscious mind knows how to keep you safe and protected. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me, because I know it works, but I hope I've communicated in a way that is clear. It's not difficult. It is simple, and some people go, oh, Paul, is it really going to work because it's that simple? Just imagine how you want to feel, then go to a memory, then you felt it, and then put it out there. Imagine it happening with that feeling. Yes, it is. It's that simple. It takes effort, though. So don't just think, oh, I know all of this. Because if you know all of this, and you've still got these negative feelings, then you're not doing it, are you? Knowing is not the same as doing. Mastery is doing what you know and knowing what you do, and then learning from that and moving on. So this is simple. It is easy, but it takes effort. How much? Not that much. And if you really want to be and experience life the way you want it, this is just a few minutes' work. Please go do it. And when you do it, and you experience the wonderful feelings and the success and going through those events just the way you wanted it, then you can start imagining doing even more. Even asking your questions. Now I can do this. With this confidence in my competence, what I've learned, what else can I do? What can I do that's even more? How can I enjoy life, creating this adventure of life for myself? Now, sometimes when we get to that point, something comes along and go, woo, that's the time to let me know. I like an email, one, on your successes, so we can all celebrate them together. The second one is, if there's anything that comes up, go, oh, actually, a limiting belief has just come up. Or this, I'm thinking about it, but I'm getting resistance somewhere. I know it's good for me, but I just can't move past this. Let me know by an email. And we'll do another longer podcast to really hone down. Or home down. Is it? Which one is it? Hone or hone? But we'll hone something out. A process that will allow you to then let that go and move even more. Because that's what we're here for. And this is what I want these longer podcasts to be. I want them to be in depth. So this is quite, I would say, not of a serious level. It's serious to us, of course, but it's not like manic depression and things like that. But we are going to go into more serious subjects as well. Because even if you haven't got those serious issues, you might know of somebody who has. But also you can go, well, I can still use the processes on lighter things. Just because they're used for heavy things, the same processes for use for lighter issues. I mean, this thing that we've done will create change for any issue. It may not break it completely, but it will certainly loosen that grip that it has over you. And it will start to make steps towards the way you want to go. I know it will, because that's what happens. So with that, please go do it. Give me the feedback at Personal Development Unplugged, those emails, and make sure you subscribe. I'd love you to share these things, but it's a subscription is better. If you can share it to a friend and they subscribe too, because it means more people get to these processes that are going to make a change for them. And we never know when we're going to need them. So keep listening, keep subscribing, and I'll keep doing the same for you. So please enjoy and do it with curiosity and fun. Because that's the way we make changes really quickly. Because we can. The change is not magic, but it's magical. So you go enjoy every heartbeat. Until the next time, my friend, I'll be with you. It's Paul. Bye-bye now.
This is Personal Development Unplugged with Paul Clough.
In simplicity,
there is genius.
In simplicity there is genius.